So now we've prepared our samples. We're going to run them on the GA2100 direct spray electrospray ionization high performance ion mobility spectrometer. We'll perform the electrospray right off this syringe. So we will take a few microliter sample, first of our blank milk matrix, and draw it up into the syringe. Then after we briefly expel, make sure we expel any air bubbles, we can just load our syringe into the instrument and run our sample. We can record for only 10 seconds and get our accumulated spectrum. Once a spectrum is accumulated, the program has fitting routines that will help fit and locate your peaks and can perform other functions such as looking for peaks that are in a standard library, or also giving you an idea about your instrument performance. Once it's complete, the computer takes over in the software, and we can see in this case that we only have the blank milk matrix only has 2 peaks in it. If we open the door, the instrument is shut down, and we can, after just a brief rinsing, we can analyze our second sample in just seconds. We're now going to analyze our first spiked sample. This sample has 38 parts per million of the melamine in the milk matrix. Again, we're just going to make sure we expel any air bubbles from our sample. And when we close the door, the instrument takes over and will ramp up our voltages, apply all of our instrument settings, and then begin the analysis of our sample and start acquiring a spectrum. We can easily see that besides our 2 matrix peaks from the blank, we now have our third peak representing the melamine that has been spiked into the sample. So we can very clearly identify the melamine peak from the 2 blank matrix peaks without having any of the melamine spike present. Again, we can very quickly, with just a brief rinsing, then move on to analyze our next sample. In this case, this is a higher concentration. This is the 80 part per million spike of melamine in the milk matrix. So I'll just drop the syringe into the instrument. I will identify this as our 80 part per million sample. And then load the sample and wait for it to begin its acquisition. And as you can see, now that we have 80 parts per million in here, this third peak has gotten larger, consistent with having the higher concentration of melamine spiked into the matrix. So that we can clearly see the trend in concentration of the identified melamine peak detectable in the melamine matrix using our simplified procedure.